I can't access Facebook, so I don't know what's going on there, but good luck. It says I'm streaming to Facebook. I don't know if that's true. Oh, the only thing I get is, sorry, something went wrong. We're working on getting this fixed as soon as we can. Meta. Oh.
What you think about when you're born into a fire? Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. Our brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away, burn away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway.
He just, from what I read about the tomahawk, he originally said, what was the quote? He sort of made a decision. And then people are like, what? You're sending tomahawk missiles to Ukraine? And then suddenly he made another statement that said, well, I'd like to know what Ukraine would do with them first. So, I don't know. Oh, yeah, the video game role-playing. Some people, I've been trying to get into it just to see if it's as bad as everybody says. Some people take it way too serious, dude. Way too serious. I said hi while walking through a town to a female, and her two boyfriends came and like tied me up and just shot me repeatedly. But you're not supposed to be allowed to do that. That's like against every rule and all the servers, but whatever. He said, let me see if I can read this quote before the next song plays. U.S. President Donald Trump said on Monday he would want to know what Ukraine planned to do with U.S.-made Tomahawk missiles before agreeing to supply them because he does not want to escalate Russia's war against Ukraine. Ukrainian President Zelensky has asked the U.S. to sell Tomahawks to European nations that would send them to Ukraine. Tomahawk missiles have a range of 2,500 kilometers, 1,550 miles, putting Moscow in the range of Ukraine's arsenal, were Kiev to be granted them. All right, let's roll the intro.
Hey Daddies, it's me, the Linda Binda from TikTok. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to thank you for
also,
watching.
JD Vance was trying to have Destiny arrested. How wild is that?
I think that's just incredible. I've watched a few episodes and I'm just like very intrigued. But you know what I'm most intrigued in is Big Daddy's meat stick. I heard that it's very thick, like a good old German sausage. You know, Linda and her coochie loves that. Oh, never mind. Let's not go there. Anyways, I hope you have a good show and enjoy it as you can. There's a lot of weird things that go on, especially when it comes from the realm of Linda Bindaland. So, enjoy the show. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Welcome everybody. I'm Will Bird. This is the Cold Beer Confessional. I did get the Ranger going today. My Ranger pickup truck. So it's driving. It does have a coolant leak, but it moves under its own power now. It was the fuel pump. It came in, I put it in, it started right up. So that was good. I got a coolant leak to address, and then what I meant to record more of it. I don't know that I could have made a great video from it because I already had half the work done, but I meant to record more of it, but I didn't even think about it. I just got carried away. Anyways, this is what my Facebook's doing. So you see this is Facebook Marketplace, right? If I try to open like the Facebook homepage, sorry, something went wrong. We're working on getting this fixed as soon as we can. Go back. Meta 2025, help. I've cleared cookies. I've cleared cache. I've cleared everything. By the way, also another thing I've noticed is going on in the community. People are being way too nice to Mariah, okay? We're not raising a bunch of participation trophy wives here. Atsuko tried to congratulate Mariah yesterday on doing such a good job of driving long. That's a little much, okay? That's a little bit of overkill. Atsuko says, good for her long driving. What? For real? That's what we're doing now? Anyways, I didn't want to close this page so I could show it to you, but even if I hit refresh just for Marketplace, it does the same thing. If I go back, nothing. I cannot access Facebook from my PC. I can on my phone. I still have an account. I'm not logged out. I'm not anything, but there you go. All right, we're going to jump right into this story. This is from a local CBS affiliate. It says, federal agents shoot woman in Chicago neighborhood, I think it was Brighton Park, after allegedly being rammed and then boxed in by cars. I'll get some audio. Hold on.
Was shot.
Sorry, it wasn't refresh.
This, we're sorting out details of a tense face-off between protesters and federal agents this morning in the Brighton Park neighborhood. That's on Chicago's southwest side. When it was over, one woman was shot, two others arrested. Our Marissa Sulik was on the ground after dozens of protesters reportedly boxed in.
That's true, FedEx.
Chaos broke out near Kedzie and 40th Street in Brighton Park. It's the same area Homeland Security says agents were boxed in by 10 cars this morning. When agents got out, DHS says
agents were boxed in by 10 cars.
They saw one of the drivers that cornered them had a gun.
One of the drivers had a gun.
The agents shot at her in self-defense.
This female called station and shot in the arm and legs, and the ICE agent shot her.
Homeland Security says she is a U.S. citizen who wrote threatening messages on social media toward agents. They say she went to the hospital, was released, and no agents were hurt.
The caller was instigating a fight with the agents. Caller told 911 that ICE was shooting live rounds at moving traffic.
Once protesters got
Shooting live rounds at moving traffic was what the claim was.
the area, Alderwoman Julia Ramirez says she saw another man taken by federal agents at this gas station nearby.
Since then, there was one car that was at this gas station with a person, a U.S. citizen, who has now been detained.
All morning and into the afternoon, there were tense moments between agents and protesters. There was yelling, objects thrown, and officers spraying pepper balls. Groups of federal agents kept arriving on scene. Within 20 minutes when we got to the scene here, we saw about 4 to 5 undercover federal agent SUVs make their way through the crowd here and go underneath the tape. And each time we saw this, we saw protesters fight back.
They seemingly are like...
All right, let's read the story. Federal agents shot a woman in Brighton Park neighborhood on Chicago's southwest side Saturday morning after they became boxed in by vehicles, according to U.S. Department of Homeland Security. The woman, as well as a man whom authorities say was involved in the chaos, were facing charges Sunday morning. DHS originally said the shooting happened while agents were patrolling in Broadview, where the department has a U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement facility that has been the site of ongoing protests and clashes between agents and demonstrators. But officials later confirmed the incident happened near 40th Street and Kedzie Avenue in Chicago. So they don't even know where the fuck it's happening at, or at least they're not being honest about it. The patrolling agents were rammed by vehicles and boxed in by 10 cars, according to a statement from DHS Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin. DHS said the agents were unable to move their vehicles and got out of the car. According to DHS, one of the drivers of a car boxing them in had a gun, which agency said was a semi-automatic weapon. DHS said the agents opened fire, striking the driver, who they said is a woman. According to a federal charging complaint, the Customs Border Protection agent who opened fire stepped out of his vehicle and shot 5 times at a woman after she rammed her car into a federal law enforcement vehicle. She rammed the vehicle, right? Prosecutors said she drove off, but paramedics found her in her car at a repair shop about a mile away, at which point she was taken to the hospital. A spokesperson for Sinai, I think, health system said the woman was later released from the hospital. The woman was in FBI custody as of Saturday night. Now, there seems to be some contradictory information. Jillian Brockwell says, claim, 10 cars rammed ICE. Truth? No cars rammed ICE. Claim, they boxed in. She boxed in ICE. Truth? ICE boxed her in. Claim, she shot a rifle at ICE. This was an early claim. Truth? She did not have a rifle. Claim, ICE returned fire. Truth? Only ICE fired. Claim, she drove herself to the hospital. Truth? Paramedics found her. And we got body cam video appears to contradict the government's claim that Miramar Martinez, 30, drove toward officers before one of them opened fire at her late Saturday morning in Brighton Park, her attorney claimed. Body cam video appears to contradict the government's claim. Drove towards her before one of them opened fire on Saturday morning in Brighton Park, her attorney claimed. A judge ordered Martinez and a co-defendant released pending trial. Body cam video of a Border Patrol agent involved in a shooting of a woman who was allegedly chasing agents in Brighton Park over the weekend shows an officer saying, "Do something, bitch," before pulling over and shooting the woman 5 times. The woman's attorney said in federal court. The video appears to contradict the government's allegations that Miramar Martinez, 30, drove toward officers before one of them opened fire on her late Saturday morning on Kedzie Avenue near 39th Street. Her attorney, Christopher Parente, said at a detention hearing at Dirksen Federal Courthouse, U.S. District Judge Heather McShane denied a request by the federal government to detain Martinez and Anthony Ian Santos Ruiz, 21, pending trial. Martinez and Ruiz, who wore orange jumpsuits for the detention hearing, were charged Sunday with felony assault of a federal officer. The judge said it is a miracle to me that no one was more seriously injured in the incident in which Martinez and Ruiz allegedly followed agents for more than 20 minutes as they drove after conducting an operation in Oak Lawn. But she said the defendant's lack of criminal history and extensive family and community ties compelled her to release them pending trial. According to the 8-page criminal complaint, prosecutors say Martinez and Ruiz were driving separate vehicles in a convoy that was following agents. Not illegal at all, right? You could follow any fucking body that you want as long as you're on a street. Like, you're not on private property, you can follow people around all you want. Had been following agents for 20 minutes for the shooting. As she drove, Martinez was broadcasting on Facebook Live for more than 2 minutes, Hennessy said. Video, so not only do we have we're going to have body cameras of this, but it seems like we're going to have a Facebook Live video of this as well. Video captures her repeatedly sounding her horn following the vehicles. So she's driving around blowing the horn, probably warning people, hey, this is us, fuck them. In the charges filed Sunday, prosecutors notably did not mention a loaded gun in Martinez's car that was referenced in a previous statement by the Department of Homeland Security. Weird. Why would they not? This is Chicago, where it's almost impossible to own a firearm, right? Very hard to legally own a firearm. DHS is telling us, well, she had a fucking gun, and that's why officers shot. But even in the charging documents, they don't even mention a gun. It's weird. But in court Monday, Hennessy said Martinez had a loaded firearm on the passenger side of her car, but never brandished it. So it seems what happened was after she got shot, they found her car, they looked, then they're going to say, oh, well, she had a gun in the car. Then that turns into she pointed a gun at us. None of that seems to be true. But she has a valid firearm and a concealed carry license. So no one gives a fuck she has a gun, as long as she didn't point it at anybody. And it seems like, we're going to have body cam and a Facebook Live. Parente also offered to play an agent's body camera video that shows the shooting, noting that prosecutors did not show the video that he claimed disputes the government's version of the shooting. Parente said the video shows an agent turn a federal vehicle left into Martinez's vehicle, after which an agent says, "Do something, bitch." The agent then exits the vehicle and shoots at Martinez. Would there ever be a reasonable cause for a federal agent to be screaming at someone else, "Do something, bitch," on duty? I don't care if she was waving a gun around. If she had a big sign that said, "I'm going to shoot you in the head." Why the fuck are our federal agents screaming, "Do something, bitch," while running people off the road? Because they want to fight. Parente said Martinez has 7 holes in her from the shooting, and the agents were in such a hurry to take her into custody at the hospital, they had to return later when Martinez began bleeding from her wounds. So not only did they arrest her from the hospital, first of all, they said she drove herself to the hospital. That's not true. An ambulance came and got her and took her to the hospital. They wanted to get her out of that fucking hospital, I guess, before she had a chance to talk to anybody. They wanted to get her out of the hospital so quick, they had to bring her back because she wasn't done with her treatment and was bleeding out again. Parente disputed the government's claim that Martinez is a danger to the community and should be detained, saying instead that the officer who shot her was a threat. "I think there's a danger to the community, but I don't think it's Miss Martinez," he said. Martinez is a U.S. citizen, works for a school, and had several supportive letters about her character filed with the court, Parente said. Ruiz is also a U.S. citizen and self-employed as a DJ. His attorney, I've never seen DJ spelled that way, Deejay. I thought it was just the initials, like disc jockey, DJ. His attorney, Ben Horowitz, said, the shooting on Saturday led to a heated confrontation between federal agents and nearly 100 protesters. It was one of several protests that have flared up since President Donald Trump's administration kicked off Operation Midnight Blitz last month. After the shooting, Martinez drove herself to Big Rig Oil Pros at 35th Street and California Avenue, parked her bullet-ridden Nissan SUV in the parking lot, and walked inside. The shop manager told the Sun-Times Monday. Employees led a bleeding Martinez to a chair in the shop's office, said the manager, who asked not to be named. A trucker at the shop called 911 as workers frantically grabbed blue shop towels and patches to place on her wounds. The manager said. The shop manager called 911 and said, "Send somebody quick because this lady is bleeding profusely. I mean, it was instant puddles." police and paramedics showed up a few minutes later, he said. As paramedics placed tourniquets on Martinez's leg and arm, a bullet fell out of her arm and onto the shop's floor, the manager said. She left in an ambulance. FBI investigators then arrived and placed red tape around the area where Martinez had sat and around her car, the manager said. They processed the scene for half an hour. Then the shop workers cleaned the blood, he said. Shortly after Monday's court hearing, the FBI and Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives announced a reward of up to $50,000 for information leading to the arrest and conviction of the other drivers who followed and boxed in agents on Saturday. They're allowed to drive around your bitch ass and blow their horns. Unless there's a specific local ordinance against blowing the horns, but typically there isn't. Or there is, but it's rarely enforced. Like, you're only supposed to sound your horn in the event of an emergency, blah, 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 but it's rarely enforced. An FBI statement says that about 10 vehicles were involved in the chase that Martinez and Ruiz were allegedly part of in the 3900 block of South Kedzie. The statement also describes the ramming of U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement vehicle repeatedly in the 3700 block of Kedzie, allegedly by the driver of a black Chevy Tahoe with Illinois plate EM 62829. I would like to see this ramming. That driver is still at large, the FBI said. So they got out and shot the lady who didn't ram them, who didn't brandish a weapon, who didn't shoot them, while he screamed, "Do something, bitch." But the person who rammed them just drove away. Kind of weird, no? Maybe? I don't know. I just don't trust. I don't trust anything they fucking say. Anything. I don't trust anything they say.
So it turns out the entire story that ICE concocted about this woman who they shot, who was 30 years old, they said she drove towards officers, and that did not happen. And Jillian Brockle, who is an amazing person to follow on Blue Sky, she wrote that, quote, 10 cars rammed ICE. That was the claim. Truth, no cars rammed ICE. Claim, she boxed ICE in. Truth, ICE boxed her in. Claim, she shot a rifle at ICE. Truth, she did not have a rifle. Claim, ICE returned fire. Truth, only ICE fired. Quote, she drove herself to the hospital. Truth, paramedics found her. Clearly, this is the sign of what I would say is someone who didn't really do anything wrong and got shot by ICE. And fortunately, the judge has ordered both her and Anthony Ruiz to be released pending their trial on Monday.
By the way, it also says the Chicago Police Department confirmed officers separately responded to an unrelated hit-and-run crash involving federal agents hours later that day. Do you think they're combining the two stories? With assaulting and impeding a federal officer. But the officer's not going to be charged for fucking punching 7 holes in the woman. Said it was after allegedly ramming and boxing in Border Patrol vehicles, prompting an agent to fire 5 shots, injuring Martinez. Chicago police also stated they responded to a separate call for service from federal officers involved in 2 hit-and-run crashes later in the day. The crashes were unrelated to this incident earlier in the day. So, wait a second. So the hit-and-run person that got away is not mentioned at all by the Chicago police until we start talking about a hit-and-run incident that happened later on in the day. I think a convoy of fucking cars should follow them everywhere. Do something, bitch. These are the goddamn people. Like, ICE recruitment standards are so low. These are the fucking Gen 6ers that are running around doing this shit. They have a little bit of power. They think Trump will back them up. They're throwing people around. They're beating the fuck out of people. They get to wear their mask and their fucking Iron Cross tattoos and their swastikas, and they run around and do this bullshit. I can. What did you do? I don't think I'm in trouble with Facebook. I don't know what it is because my account's still there on my phone. I just can't access it on PC. I can't do anything with it right now, but there you go. All right, what do we got? Here's a little palate cleanser. My Sweet Prince, Scott Rogers. It's beautiful, really. It says, today my buddy met Scott Rogers. This is at an AutoZone or something. No, it's at a gas station.
It's Scott Rogers.
Damn it, why don't you back up?
Today my buddy met Scott Rogers.
October 31st.
Look at
The city streets are crowded for the holiday, even with the rain.
Sorry.
Today my buddy met Scott Rogers.
October 31st. The
Look at it.
Streets are
Look at
crowded for the holiday, even with the rain.
Hold on, there's a better one. Why are you so quiet? What's on your mind? I don't know if I can play this music, but Candy, bam. It's Sex and Candy. Look at him. Oh, man. Kind of top heavy. Look at that. That's beautiful. Riding off into the sunset like that. Look at that. Kind of top heavy. Holy fuck. Who's that lounging in my chair? It's beautiful, baby. Beautiful. I get hung up on that. Okay, now. Have you heard the children's speaking in basically language you can't understand? They haven't. No, that seat's not missing. It's up in there. Okay? Proctologists would tell you that. It's in there. The latest generation of elementary students, middle school students, have invented their own language. And one of the things they say all the time, and technically I say it all the time just to aggravate my kids, is 6-7. It's a meme. It doesn't mean anything. It means everything. It doesn't mean nothing. And it all comes back to this video talking about some guy's height that was 6'7", and people are like 6'7", 6'7", 6'7", and they just respond random shit. It doesn't make any fucking sense at all. But the kids keep saying 6'7". It's actually not one meme. It's like 10 memes that divulged from one meme to get the 6'7". Did you know that was the Lord Almighty speaking through our youth? Why? Because last month, we thought we were having a good old-fashioned God sucking us off. God didn't suck anybody off, right? We're all still here. We thought we were going to be sucked off into paradise. What you didn't know is that Jesus forgot we changed calendars. Duh. Jesus Christ forgot we changed calendars. So he was planning on sucking us off Gregorian style. And no one told him about the Julian calendar. Heaven's eternal glory hole. I wanted to fit that in there somehow. Anyways, now we're back on. We are getting sucked off. Probably tonight or tomorrow. Which would be, what dates, class? October 6th or October 7th. 6-7. 6-7. 6'7", huz. 6'7", chuz. 6'7". God has been speaking through our youth, and we were too blind to see it. Suck me off, baby Jesus. I'm ready to go. Why does he keep muting these?
Remember that Jesus didn't know that the rapture is happening tomorrow, and people are saying that they are sure this time because remember that Jesus didn't know that we had changed our calendars. But we now understand that he was going by the Julian calendar, so we are going to see if the rapture happens on October 6th or 7th, and if that date sounds a little suspicious to you, see what this guy has to say.
Is the full moon, which is the 6th through the 7th. And all these kids are doing this 6-7 thing, and they're raising their hands up and down, almost like lifting up.
6-7.
And he is definitely not alone. There are a lot of other people who have also found signs and numbers.
So I was looking for verses that have 10, 6, 7, you know, just going on a little scavenger hunt. There will be no more delay. This is definitely a rapture nugget, a rapture clue. No more
rapture nuggets.
Because we have been in a little slight.
I used to get dino nuggets, but they were never in the shape of raptures.
14 delay.
All of that to say, it doesn't look like any of this rapture insanity is going to calm down anytime soon. And if the rapture doesn't happen, I will not be surprised if another date gets chosen or we find out that there is another calendar that we should have been going by. But I will keep you guys updated with all the rapture news.
There you go. Rapture 6-7. 6-7.
So I have to tell you, I'll be honest, after the 23rd and the 24th of September passed, I was confused. I still believed that Jesus was coming. And
so they thought it was the 23rd, 24th, or whatever. 27th, whatever the fuck she just said.
That he was on his way, but I felt like there was some type of delay. Something had happened, right? I could not believe.
Jesus got hung up. He couldn't find parking. Even if you believe this non-biblical pre-tribulation belief, right, that you'll be sucked off by God before the tribulation happens. That's non-biblical, by the way. It wasn't even invented till the 1830s. But what don't they understand? No man will know the day or the hour. What? Did you miss that part?
You know, all these confirmations, tens of thousands of people could all be wrong, and that this wasn't going to happen. And
could tens of thousands of people all be wrong, chat?
And so
that's right. He is risen. He is the Grizzly Bear.
Video popped up on my phone wrong, and that this wasn't going to happen. And so a video popped up on my phone from another Christian who was seeking God and asking for answers just like I was.
You guys remember the mom that made her kids pretend to be speaking Hebrew to prove the rapture was coming? She's still not back.
Fasted, the Holy Spirit revealed the Julian calendar to him in October of 15.
So this black guy said that he had been praying and then fell asleep. And in his dream, God came to him and said, I'm still going to suck you off, bro. But are you dumb? Are you dumb? You don't know you switched up calendars on me?
1982, the calendar was changed from Julian to Gregorian. The Julian calendar is 13 days behind our calendar. So today is September 27th on the Gregorian calendar, but it's only September 14th on the Julian calendar.
6-7.
So I started to think, okay, this would explain, right, why Jesus didn't come on September 23rd or 24th. It's because when he was on the earth, the Julian calendar was the calendar they followed. So he is going to come back on the Feast of Trumpets on the Julian calendar.
I'm not saying, like, people believe this so much. They left messages and notes and mailed shit to like their children and family members saying, I hope you're with me in heaven, but if not, could you please take care of my dogs? Make sure you do this. It's going to be a trying time. The Antichrist is going to rise. Don't take the mark of the beast. Don't do.
Which happens to be October 6th and 7th on our Gregorian calendar. These will be the Feast of Trumpet dates, and he will come to get his bride. So,
by the way, every single shred of evidence that they have to prove that the rapture's coming was all done on the Gregorian calendar. Every feast they had, all the lunar signs they claim, the fucking planet alignment, all the Gregorian calendar matched up with the Bible. Now, suddenly they missed this final sucking off date, and now, no, it was the Julian calendar we were supposed to be looked at, guys.
Just a quick history lesson, right? All of the spring feasts were fulfilled on the Julian calendar, okay? And we know that they were Passover, unleavened bread, first fruits, and Pentecost. Those were our spring ones, and they were fulfilled on the Julian calendar. The fall ones have not been fulfilled yet. So that is the Feast of Trumpets, Day of Atonement, and the Tabernacles. So if Jesus fulfilled the first four on the Julian calendar,
yeah, I know that's a rumor. I don't think that's true. There's no names, dates, locations. It's just some woman did this. I don't think it's true. Maybe it is.
Of trumpet dates, and he will come to get his bride. So, just a quick history lesson, right? All of the spring feasts were fulfilled on the Julian calendar, okay? And we know that they were Passover, unleavened bread, first fruits, and Pentecost. Those were our spring ones, and they were fulfilled on the Julian calendar. The fall ones have not been fulfilled yet. So that is the Feast of Trumpets, Day of Atonement, and the Tabernacles. So, if Jesus fulfilled the first four on the Julian calendar, he is going to fulfill the last three on the Julian calendar. We know this because we know that he does not change. And so it is still, the rapture is still on. God has not changed his mind. He is coming for his bride.
It's not happening because none of it's fucking real. It was all apocalyptic text that was meant to be fulfilled in the time that it was written. It was about Nero and the Roman Empire and him passing away, but them not thinking he was dead, coming back, persecuting Christians. It had nothing to do with the future.
It's just that we are on a different calendar, and so it is going to be October 6th and 7th.
There you go. October 6th and 7th.
For those who have
tell the people I am coming in September.
Ears to hear, let them hear what the Lord says. So I've been praying about the rapture and about confirmation if it's happening this month. I believe it is, but I wanted to know for sure. So this is what I got from the Lord. Time is running out. Tell them
Nurse Julie.
I am coming in September. I have revealed these things to you so that you would not be in darkness, but would be in the light. This day should not surprise my people, but many will be surprised.
I understand why religion works, right? Like, I have fucking, fucking panic attacks about life and not being able to stop time and what comes next and after death and this existential crisis, right? I understand why it works. But if you just look at any of it critically, it's like, what? What the fuck are you talking? This is so fucking dumb. Without the years of indoctrination and without it already being like super accepted for years and years and years and years and years. If someone came up with this today, they'd be like, you're fucking stupid. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. But it's only because it's been around for so long and families have moved through it and this person did it and all these people did it and I grew up with it. It's the only reason people still believe it. It sounds so fucking crazy.
Some will believe you and some will not. Your job is only to warn, not to convince. It's time to get right with God. You do not want to be left behind. God's judgment and wrath will be poured out. During the 7-year tribulation, people will either have to take the mark of the beast or be killed. God is offering a way of escape for his bride, the people that have received him through salvation, asking Jesus to be the Lord of their lives. Only the ones that are in right standing with him will be taken. He told me to tell everyone, I am coming. Get ready. Get your houses in order. I have to do what God is asking me to do, which is to warn you to turn from your sin and to call on the name of Jesus, and you will be saved. As we know in Romans 10, 9, and 10, let's get it here for you.
Atsuko's part of the Mooney. She can get you in.
Romans 10, 9, and 10 says that if you confess with your mouth the Lord Jesus and believe in your heart that God has raised him from the dead, you will be saved. For with the heart one believes unto righteousness, and with the mouth confession is made unto salvation. I want to give you an opportunity to make Jesus the Lord of your life. If you haven't done that, will you pray with me? Just say, Lord Jesus, I repent of my sins, which means I turn away from them. Come into my heart, I make you my Lord and Savior. Keep God first place, pray, and read your Bible. If you don't have a Bible, get the Bible app. And he will meet you right where you are. Hope you have a blessed day. For those who have ears to hear, let them hear what the Lord says.
She's leading us. I think this is one of the girls that her mom fucking left a note and shit.
Hey guys. I wanted to come on here and address some of y'all's most asked questions about my mother, the letter, how I got the letter, yada yada. Let's get into it. How did I obtain...
Wait, do you guys want to hear the letter first?
The letter. I should put that down.
Here it is.
For me to... So I think the time has come for me to make an actual video, actual proof of the rapture letter that my mother left for me. Because she is continuing to claim that she has done absolutely nothing wrong and that she is fed up with everybody being upset with her. So I want there to be public documentation, and maybe this will be the one video of mine that just goes absolutely viral and everybody can learn how crazy this woman is. This letter reads, Dearest Alex, Bree, and Megan. That is my sisters and I, or whomever finds this letter. I will note, she listed our names completely out of birth order. She listed my name.
By the way, when I couldn't access Facebook from my PC, I thought it was happening
first, because this letter is directed towards me, mind you. Her adding the rest is just to save face, because my mother is a narcissist. If you are reading this, then what biblical prophecy has said has come true. We are gone. I pray that you have gone with me and we will meet in heaven. If this isn't the case, then I pray that you will listen with an open heart what I'm about to say. The world is going to be a terrible place. It'll just be days before complete chaos reigns. Take the cash and get non-perishable food items. There are gas cans in the garage. Fill them up. Go immediately to do this, as anything electronic will be shutting down. The internet will probably go out for a few days, but it will be back up. It will be filled with lies about the rapture. We were not taken by aliens, but by God. There is still a chance that you will make it to heaven, but it will be the most difficult road to follow. Hopefully, though, you can believe that God is real, and the only way to heaven is through Jesus. In the days to come, the beast system will be started. This is where you have to take a mark on your hand or forehead to buy and sell anything. Do not take it in all caps with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 exclamation points. If you do, there is no redemption for you. Not taking it, though, will be difficult. You will have to hide. You will have to run. You will have to live off the land. You will be hunted. This will be for 7 years. But then the second coming of Jesus will happen, and those who still remain that haven't taken the mark and turn their lives to Jesus will be saved. If you have remained, then I hope that this is the choice you make. I pray that this is the choice you make. There really is a heaven and a hell. Hell will be for eternity. It will be terrible. Do not believe the lies that will circulate. There will be false prophets and there will be deception around every corner. I will be creating lies quicker than you can read them. Please don't believe them. The deception will be tempting. The deception will seem so real. There will be people saying that they are Jesus, but this isn't true. The only way Jesus is coming back is in the clouds 7 years from now, not any sooner. I'm sorry that my religious teachings weren't strong enough to have you believe. And this is how I know this letter is directed for me specifically, because I am an outspoken atheist. I'm sorry for being a terrible mother. I've tried with my limited resources, never had much support in my life until the last 12 years. That's a dig at her 16-year marriage to my father, which she didn't work a day in her life. He paid her entire way, and she ran up his credit card debt, cheated on him when she finally did get a job with a man from work, is now married to him. So, I tried to make amends, but just know this one thing, I love you to the moon and back. I bought her a little wall hanging decor from Walmart, a little $3 thing from Walmart when I was like 16. And for some reason, she continues to say that to me. I've literally never spoken those words to her. Alex, get
What the fuck is going on with the Restream bot?
Share with them things that you all want. Let them read this letter or read it to them. Call them immediately. Communications will go down. I won't forget any of you left here. I'll be praying for you to make it through the 7 years tribulation. Alex, you said that I will forget you because I would be sad and that I can't be sad in heaven. Just by that comment alone, there is something deep inside of you that believes. I think that I won't forget you because of the joy you've brought me. I will smile.
For real? Your mom that's a real story? I've seen. It's sad, honestly, especially when it's somebody close to you.
I am proud of you. I spoke hypothetically because I told her if you were to be in heaven, you wouldn't be able to remember me. Because for you to be able to remember me,
You have to email it to me.
because you would know that I am down here suffering because of a rapture. So she took my hypothetical question or statement as hope for believing. Anyways, you've dealt with or are dealing with your struggles. You can do this. I know that you will be struggling with blank and blank being gone. Those are my sons. Try not to worry. They are with me in Don Don, but especially with Jesus. I love you. She goes on to address my sisters, and for their privacy, I won't be reading those portions. But she tells my older sister that her son is also in heaven with them. I'm not sure how this works with domesticated pets, but I'd like to think God has brought them to heaven with their believing owners. If this is
All dogs go to heaven, I think.
the case, if any of you are left, please take care.
Cats straight to hell.
Or please care for Lily, Daisy, Bella Rose, and Magnolia Blue for me. They have been a great source of comfort to me. I love them, and they won't understand what is happening and will need love. Thank you. Also, please take care of my plants. Not as important as the rest, but ... I really don't know what else to say except for whomever is left. I love you so much. I will for an eternity. Each of you has made my life here on earth beautiful. Thank you. God bless you, and I love you. She signs. I got to cover. I'll fold this down. She signs, God bless Mom, blank. She listed her storage shed, where her truck would be left, her back door unlocked, her dogs outside, no food, one small bowl of water. If you heard me list the names, that was 4 dogs. So that would be my mother.
Well, she thinks they're going to heaven with her. All right, so that's the letter, and here's the update.
2 weeks before the rapture is supposed to happen, my mother informs me that it's going to be happening and that she will be leaving her back door unlocked for me with a note on the table. All right? So I, being the mischievous little shithead that I am, go and see if she was about her shit on Tuesday evening when she is gone to her little Kool-Aid drinking party. Thus, I have the letter.
So not only did she think she's getting raptured, she went with a group of other people that believe they're getting raptured. They're all hanging out to get raptured together.
Was it the most morally correct thing to do? No, probably not. Do I think I owe her that? No, I don't. At the end of the day, I followed her instructions. Second, how did my mom react to the rapture not happening? And I'll say, she didn't really have much of a reaction. She went back to her straight old self and she asked, "Where's the money?" I just didn't even entertain it. I didn't reply.
Her money got raptured. Duh. Was she not paying attention? Just because Jesus forgot the calendars didn't forget his fee.
Until Sunday, this past Sunday, she texts me and is like, "Hey, yo, can I still go to your son's book fair?" I was like, "Yo, bro, don't think that's a great idea. Don't think it's a great idea." She is like, "Oh, why?" "I just don't think it's a good idea for you to be around any of us until you get some help." And then I blocked her. So that's the update on that. As far as how I'm doing,
That sucks, but I mean, if it gets to the point where it's affecting your and your kids' lives, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, it sucks. Thank God my parents came to me and asked if shit was real.
And everything, it really, really sucked at first. It really, really hurt because she
Oh, I got it.
zero
Thank you.
effort to see me in the days leading up to it. I told her,
I'll grab it in just a second.
you either don't actually believe this is going to happen, or
If they did, why wouldn't they take Jesus's own fucking words, sell off everything they own and donate it? Because tomorrow you'll be with me in heaven. You get your own mansion, streets paved of gold, right? Heavenly choirs, sky, cloud sex, I don't know. But Jesus told multiple followers, sell off everything they own, donate it to the poor, and follow him. And that was the path. If they really believed it, why the fuck are they writing letters and doing this and still having bank accounts, telling you where their truck is at?
Or you're a piece of shit mother.
I'd fucking a cloud.
And she...
Oh, I forgot. God damn it. You know what? I forgot I can't access Facebook. I do have the link, and as soon as I can access Facebook, we will watch it, but I don't think I can tonight. I wonder if I can watch it on my fucking phone and then find it somewhere else maybe. Hold on. Oh, no.
With, I guess.
Oh, this is bad.
Sorry. And then I'm done. I can't do it anymore. So that's the update. I'll be making a series of all the crazy shit she's done. So stay tuned. Hey guys. I wanted to come on here and address some of y'all's most asked questions about my mother, the letter, how I got the letter, yada yada.
This is bad.
Let's get into it.
Oh my God, this is bad. Hold on, let me see if I can find this somewhere else.
The letter. Just put that down. 2 weeks before the rapture is supposed to happen.
Watch this through again while I'm looking.
That it's going to be happening, and that she will be leaving her back door unlocked for me with a note on a table. All right? So I mean, we're starting. That I am. Go and see if she was about her shit on Tuesday evening when she is gone to her little Kool-Aid drinking party. Thus, I have the letter. Was it the most morally correct thing to do? No, probably not. Do I think I owe her that? No, I don't. At the end of the day, I followed her instructions. Second, how did my mom react to the rapture not happening? And I'll say, she didn't really have much of a reaction. She went back to her straight old self and she asked, "Where's the money?" I just didn't even entertain it. I didn't reply until Sunday, this past Sunday. She texts me and is like, "Hey, yo, can I still go to your son's book fair?" I was like, "Yo, bro, don't think that's a great idea. Don't think it's a great idea." She is like, "Oh, why?" "I just don't think it's a good idea for you to be around any of us until you get some help." And then I blocked her. So that's the update on that. As far as how I'm doing and everything, it really, really sucked at first. It really, really hurt.
I got it.
Because
I can only access it through an incognito, but I think we can watch
Time
it.
and space to address the awakening.
I'm Tia of
Here we go. Ready?
Greetings to you all, my dear friends. I am Tenhan of Maya, and we, the Pleiadians, speak to you now as your ancient starkin, reaching across the veils of time and space to address the awakening starseeds and light workers of Earth. A significant surge of revelations is imminent in your world. A cascade of long-suppressed secrets and hidden knowledge rising swiftly to the surface of...
I paused there for just a second. It says, "Greetings, dear friends. In this powerful video message from the Pleiadians, Tenhan of Maya reaches out to awaken star seeds and light workers on Earth. As we prepare for a significant surge of revelations, discover how long suppressed secrets are rising to the surface of the collective awareness." By the way, this is QAnon adjacent. This is woven through Some people dismiss it, across the board. Other people, this is part of this. During COVID is when all the awaken hippie Pleiadians, star seeds all came in. Even though QAnon was going on before that, during COVID, it got this huge hippie dippy influx. But whatever. Discover how long suppressed secrets are rising to the surface of collective awareness. This series of shocking disclosures will challenge your beliefs and invite you to reevaluate what you thought you knew. By the way, while we're on this topic, you guys remember the guy with the really round head, and he looks like, maybe he's like, I don't know, he's like Oriental or something, and he interviewed an alien. You guys remember that? It was a guy in the hood, looked like fucking Yoda, and what's the guy's name? Jason, I want to say something like Jason Sheehan or some shit, but he interviewed an alien. and broadcast it to everybody. What was the guy's name? Hold on, I'll look it up.
I'm Tia.
Greetings to you all, my dear friends. I am Tenhan of Maya, and we, the Pleiadians, speak to you now as your ancient starkin, reaching across the veils of time and space to address the awakening starseeds and light workers of Earth. A significant surge of revelations is imminent in your world. A cascade of long-suppressed secrets and hidden knowledge rising swiftly to the surface of collective awareness. We come forth to prepare and support you as these waves of shocking disclosures break upon the shores of human consciousness.
Jason Shurka.
In our voice,
Jason Shurka.
You will recognize echoes of your own higher wisdom. For we speak directly to the depths of your being that remember why you came to Earth at this pivotal juncture. Each revelation, however startling or unimaginable it may seem, is a necessary catalyst for humanity's awakening. For too long, veils of illusion crafted by the dark forces in power have obscured the truth of your history, your capabilities, and the galactic community that surrounds you. Now, in divine timing, those veils are lifting. Each shocking disclosure arrives as a bolt of light in the darkness, cracking the shell of old paradigms. To those unprepared, it may feel as if reality itself is coming undone. Yet to you, the starseeds and light workers who have awaited this moment, these events will resonate at a soul level as confirmation of what you have always known deep within. We speak as a collective of light in loving service, here to help you navigate
this is bad
unfolding with clarity and compassion. Beloved ones, understand that these disclosures will not be a single event, but a series of revelations washing over the collective psyche in waves. This is by design. If the entirety of truth were unveiled in one instant, the shock could shatter the sanity of many. Instead, a divine sequencing is in play. Layer after layer of deception and denial is being peeled away at a pace humanity can accommodate. In each wave of shocking disclosures, new facets of reality come to light. Some concerning your planet's hidden history and origins, others exposing the manipulation of your societies by those who served the shadows, and others revealing cosmic truths of life beyond Earth, long withheld from the masses. Expect that institutions long...
I really am sorry. Like, we're making a lot of it in fun of it. I am sorry your mom fell for something like this. They know who they're preying on.
Deemed infallible will tremble as their secrets spill forth, and that scientific and spiritual understandings will rapidly expand as suppressed knowledge finally surfaces. Each revelation will challenge beliefs and demand that individuals re-evaluate what they thought to be true. There will be successive moments when the collective pauses in astonishment, absorbing one staggering piece of information before the next arrives. We assure you that when the waves of shocking disclosures have run their course, a more enlightened and loving world will stand in their wake. Greetings to you all, my dear friends.
That's insane. I can't believe that. And they've got more of them, obviously.
Of Arcturus. I will speak with you.
Listen to Jason Shurka here. Interviewing his alien friend.
What has challenged or surprised you about Ray's perspective? Many things. I always subscribe to that.
Ray is the alien guy. He works for an alien, like secret agency, like the CIA, but just for aliens.
Idea of if there's good extraterrestrial life, there is negative extraterrestrial life as well. What surprised me in the beginning, what I couldn't get my head around was the whole, there is no evil extraterrestrial life. It didn't make sense to me in the beginning. So I sat down, and after a period of time, my old belief actually didn't make sense anymore because of just logic. If there are other races out there that are much more advanced than we are, and they haven't yet wiped themselves out, are they really evil? Could they hold evil in their heart? And if they do, how aren't they wiped out yet if they have such powerful technology and are somehow using it responsibly? Again, that's one of many points I can bring up.
So Ray told him there were no such thing as evil aliens. They're all good aliens. He was just doing this back in, when is this from? Hold on. He's still doing interviews with this guy 5 months ago. We probably watched the first one, 2 years ago? 5 months ago, he's still interviewing an alien in a hoodie.
Subscribe.
On January 1st, 2022, The first interview with Ray came out as part of the Disclosure series, and it was a very powerful...
Over 3 years ago.
An entire series, and actually multiple series, from the Disclosure series to the Pyramid Code to Conversations with Ray, and just amazing things that were shared with the world because of all of you requesting for that to be the case. Now, obviously, it took me a lot of time to convince Ray to actually make that happen because he was very hesitant when it first started, and he still is very hesitant because he doesn't really get much out of these interviews other than giving his time, giving his energy, and sharing his experiences that, in his eyes, can only create more danger and threats in his life. Today, 3 years later, 2025, we're sitting here in an undisclosed location in New York where I came here especially for this interview. We're going to speak about some current events, a lot of questions that many of you have, and a few things that we've been leading towards that Ray has been hinting towards over the past 2.5 years, or 3 years really, over the many interviews that we've conducted together. Before we begin, Ray, I want to say thank you very much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So there's many places that we can start. There's many questions that people have, but I really want to focus on what the focus and intention of this interview really is based on your request, because over the past 2.5, 3 years since we've started this, you've kept saying over and over and over again that you want to retire, you want to move on, you want to move into a more normal life because your life has not been normal by any means over the past 14, 15 years.
The alien wants to retire.
And it seems like today is that day, but that doesn't mean, in my opinion, that it's an end to anything, because knowing the person that you are, even though you want to move on, even though you want to take on different things and tasks in your life and just live a more normal life, the type of person that you are really isn't that type of person. So I'm going to give you your space, and I want to hear, and everybody wants to hear, why you've decided to make the decisions that you're making today. But I really just don't buy it, because I think you will always be back, because many times you've said, no matter how much you want to leave, you will always be a part of this, because curiosity always takes over, and this is the work of truth. It's the work of help.
It's also his best performing videos. Kind of weird that he can't move on, but these are also his best performing videos, so he has to stay in it. Weird.
The type of person that you are just doesn't seem like the type of person that can walk away from that. But I'll hand it over to you. I want to hear where you're at, what your logic is, and where your decisions really stand at this point in time.
Well, you're right. It's not an easy decision that I had to make, but I've been talking about it for the last 2 years. It's not just one reason. It's many reasons that brought me to this decision. Number one is that I feel I spent a lot of time with the organization, which took a physical and emotional toll on me. And I'm tired. Physically and emotionally, I'm tired.
You said that many times.
The work is amazing. The work is very interesting. But I did have to give a lot of myself for this type of work. And it gets to a point where, I'm not as young as I used to be. I miss my family life.
So this alien works with Q and Trump and against the deep state to bring us all to the higher level. They used to use Gaia channel. Yeah, Gaia was a big deal. Even fucking Jordan Sather was on there. And I don't believe the shit that Jordan Sather believes, but I can get along with Jordan Sather. But goddamn, he's got some stupid ass fucking Gaia shit.
I don't want to. Make it up to them. Not only my family and friends. They don't even know what's going on. I feel a lot of them lost certain experiences with me as a human being, as a friend, as a family member. So yes, I want to go, although I traveled all over the world in disguise. I'd like to travel without a disguise and go on real vacation and enjoy myself and dive deep inside my own soul and enjoy life in a different way, and give the opportunity to new individuals who will come in, and there's always somebody who is going to replace me. Although, don't forget, I was never officially a member of the organization. I always refused to become an official member. As I told you, when you become an official member, you are basically under their 100% control. And that's not something I'm willing to do. That's not me.
Can I ask you before you continue, what does that mean for the work that I'm doing, right? Over the past few years, I've stepped up to do a lot. Where does that place me when you will no longer be here? I know we'll always have our relationship, but I'm talking about the work within the organization specifically.
It's really going to be more up to you. I can tell you that. There's many changes in the organization, and I'm not the only one who's being replaced right now. Our boss, Dee, left. She retired. Officially, she retired as of January 1st. This is one of the reasons I decided to leave on that day as well.
Did Dee retire out of a negative reason, or she just wanted to move on?
No. She's much older than me. Look, she's doing it for 45 years or more. It's a very tough job. She's the chairman of the board of the New York chapter. That's not an easy task. She's been risking her life for many, many years. She's been hurt on the job physically. Like I said, it takes a toll on your physical body and your soul. It was time for her. She spoke about it also over the past few years. She made the arrangements in advance. She was training a specific person to take over, and he's the new boss right now. I'm not exactly thrilled of the choice she made. I made it very clear from day one. As you know, the job was offered to me in the beginning, but I rejected the offer.
The job to be the head of the New York chapter?
Yes.
What would that entail for you?
To take over the organization when it comes to New York. Basically getting to very high places in the organization, which I would have to be an official member, which I didn't want to be. I figured it was going to be too much for me. Again, to me, my family comes first, although I loved it, and I find it very intriguing and very exciting work. It comes with a price. Forget about the price I'm paying. It's a price that my family has to pay as well. And I always had certain conflicts with the organization. I think one way, they think a different way. They have their ways, they have their policies, and they are not going to change that. It got to a point where I said, you know what, I did my part. Maybe it's time to go, especially since I don't like the new administration. There are a lot of changes in the organization with new people coming in.
When you say you don't like the new administration, what does that mean?
Me and the new boss don't see eye to eye.
In what way?
Like I always said, they're too soft. He's softer than her.
Meaning you want more, like you say, fight.
Even the back and forth of the camera is not natural. Something's going on here.
And they just don't go that route.
They don't go that route. Look, the last 5 years, it was an era in the entire world. It was an era of consciousness. It was an era of transparency. It was an era of truth coming out. What happened in the last 5 years changed the world forever. It changed public consciousness forever. It is a positive change. That came through a negative process. As you know, we discussed before COVID in 2019. I spoke to you about it. You were told about COVID. You were told about Australia, the fires, the children, the tunnels. You call it predictions, but it's not predictions. It's facts that were given to you, and you were chosen to speak about it, to bring it to the world. Other people, such as yourself, were chosen, but not necessarily with TLS, but with different organizations. If you pay attention, there are a lot of people like you around the world right now. And it's a process that took over the world, which I found to be, at the time, as a positive change. I was happy about it, and I was hoping to see more. But when the truth finally came out, if you remember in the beginning, people made fun of you. They called you crazy and a con man.
Yes.
Those facts became true in the eyes of the world. People stopped making fun of you. People took you more seriously. And criminals were exposed. Not only by me, not only by you, but by many people around the world. I expected to see some kind of punishment. Look what happened in the world. Truth came out. Not 100%. There's a lot of hidden secrets still going on that will come to the light very soon. But the criminals are not being punished. I have a hard time living with this. I have a hard time living with those families we spoke about that really were there to destroy the world. Things are being changed, and things, thank God, did not go as bad as we thought they were going to be. But where's the punishment? Where's the price that people have to pay? How are you going to teach the rest of the world not to even think about doing this again? What's going to stop them in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years to try to do this again? As we speak, things are being done in order to destroy the good that has happened over the last few months. President Trump, for example, they tried to kill him a few times already. Do you think they stopped? No, they're still trying. They just didn't succeed.
To me,
moving to current events, I want to say that.
To me personally, it makes me feel like this guy's playing both parts. And all we're seeing here is like a dummy or just a hoodie. He's been, because it doesn't flow naturally. It doesn't, like, they're going out of the, if this is a real interview, they're going out of their way to make it seem so fucking stuttered. It's weird.
For later in the conversation, you just said it's up to you. My question was, with the new changes that are being done right now and being made with the organization specifically, where does that place me? What am I expected to do moving forward? How can I continue moving forward in the mission, the tasks that I took upon myself? What am I expected to do moving forward? How can I continue this work?
Knowing you, I believe you're going to see things from my perspective. I don't mean to say that you might fight fire with fire. That's not you. You don't do that. I mean, you might not like the new management. You might find them too soft, the way I find them. And you may want to do things in a different way, in a better way. And I believe you will. I believe you will, but it all depends on what's going to happen on the day-to-day. You're going to have to observe and make your own decisions. But look, you have the pyramid code. You have a lot of information that was given to you, which is yours, that you could use. Nobody is going to take that away from you, and I trust you to do the right thing.
When you say the pyramid code, you're also talking about rays of light. I want to share my vision of how I want to move forward and let things kind of unfold however they need to unfold and see your thoughts on it. Over the past 3, 4, 5 years, whenever this even started, because I lose track of time, but over the past few years, I've been given a lot, I've shared a lot, but I haven't had the time to dive deep into all of those texts in the way that I would have wanted to study them, to connect with them, and to really extrapolate as much, not just knowledge, but wisdom from them to share with people through.
Yeah, there was a leaked video that was real convenient, and clearly the video shows, as soon as I saw it, I was like, well, that looks like a fucking weather balloon. And then I saw a Hank Green video, and he's like, well, that's a fucking weather balloon. So I'm almost positive that we're right.
Series, workshops, new books that I write, things like that. And that's what I feel I'm being called to do beyond and in addition to many other things at the same time. But to take all of that was shared with the world and to dive deeper into it and to become a teacher of those things, because I think that there are a lot of lessons there. My question is that in alignment with the vision that you see for me as well from your perspective and what you know?
Yes, absolutely. Don't forget, the information that was given to you, most of it was given to you by me, which means it's my material. I wrote it. I'm responsible for the material. I stand behind it. Nobody can take it away from you but me. And I'm not planning to take it away from you, as long as you understand the agreement that nothing goes public without my permission.
What about the portions of rays of light that I never received yet? Can you consider giving me more of those over time?
Right now, no, but I'm not going to say no forever. I need to see how things progress with the organization and how things progress with you. Right now, I'm more concentrated on my own personal life. I'm going on a long vacation. I'm going to the Far East. I'm going to be in the sun. I want to enjoy life in a different way right now. I don't want to deal with missions. I don't want to deal with secrecy. I want to live a good family life.
Fair enough. No, I totally understand it. I may not like it, but I can't blame you. I do understand that with where you want to move forward. I just want to leave a door open here because you still have a lot of time in your life, even though you're tired. You got time. And whenever
no, it's a weather balloon.
Through that, I want to just keep the door open for other conversations and interviews like this.
It's not flying fast at all. It's just floating, and then the other pieces are floating with it.
I have no idea. That's up to you. But I do want to keep that door open if you're open to it, to talk about past times that you've had, past things that you've learned. There's a lot that you haven't shared on camera yet.
My relationship with you will stay the same. I have no issue with that. Giving you more information. I know what you're looking for.
This guy's fucking crazy. I'll just show you the video. It's a forced perspective thing. I figured it out almost immediately. I was like, oh, looks like it hit one of those fucking thin-ass fucking weather balloons. And then someone sent me the Hank Green video. Here it is.
I'm having a hard time with something, and I know that I shouldn't be, but someone has leaked a video from the Pentagon. They literally recorded a screen on their phone, and then they leaked that, and now Congress thinks that they found UFOs.
I'm not jumped to the conclusion that I believe that there are aliens coming from another planet, but I'm open to that.
Is there specific evidence or footage or document that you think lends extreme credibility to what we're discussing today?
I would say this new video we're seeing today is exceptional evidence.
First of all, we just need to make a list of the weird things about this video. Let's watch the video real quick. I'm going to do the quick version of it. We're going to be seeing a thing that is traveling over the ocean, and then it gets hit by a missile, a thing flies through it, and then it floats along.
That's clearly a balloon, right? So what you're seeing is it looks like it's moving fast, but it's probably at 30,000 feet, and you're seeing the ocean behind it. That's the reason it looks like it's moving fast, right? If you just hold your finger out in front of your face and stare at your finger and move, your finger's just moving slowly, but the stuff that's all the way on the other side of the room looks like it's flying by. It's just a balloon drifting. The missile hits it. Of course, it's not going to detonate on it because you have to crush the nose cone on a Sidewinder missile. Of course, it's not going to detonate. It hits it, rips a couple pieces loose, and now those pieces are also just floating at the exact same wind speed because it's trash in the air.
A thing flies through it, and then it floats along with these pieces after it. And then we're going to zoom out, and we're going to show it. This is what it looks like zoomed out, where it's not actually focused in on it. And you can see in the zoomed out version, if you look at it hard enough, you can see little dots flashing every once in a while. It's a little bit of a microcosm of the whole situation. So if you ask somebody who knows about UFOs, they'll just tell you what this is. They're going to be pretty sure they know exactly what it is. And when I explain this to you, you're going to know exactly what it is. You're going to look at this video and you're going to be like, oh yeah, that's what it is. Well, maybe not. Look, I don't know who you are. I posted about this on TikTok, and the top comment is, the biggest red flag was them showing it. If the Pentagon saw this as a legitimate threat, they would have classified the wazoo out of it. Well, that's the thing about this. This should be classified. And I'm going to make the case for that.
It should be classified. These missiles are not made to be used in this way. That's why it was classified, right? We already know that China likes to send balloons, and other countries do too, but they like spy balloons. And the fact that we were able to destroy this one with this missile that's not been used in this way, in this capacity, this video should be classified. It was rightfully classified. Someone stole it on their phone by recording a classified video and then leaking it.
As well, this should not have been leaked. The government should not be sharing this because the United States government, if they're following what they're supposed to do, they should support the United States military, which in this case they are not doing. So I'm going to make a list of things that I have heard people say that are weird about this video. First, this thing is moving fast. Second, the missile didn't explode. Third, this thing bounces off the missile. What bounces in war? Nothing, right? So that's weird. Fourth, the thing breaks into pieces. Some people are saying these are pieces of the missile. Some people are saying they are pieces of the thing. So we could just say that there are pieces and they fly.
And then the news was extremely disingenuous when they said shit like bouncing off a UFO, blah, blah, blah. This is an AIM-9 Sidewinder. Okay. It's probably I forget what the nomenclature is for the bladed one. You know, the bladed one that we use to take out terrorists, and it cuts holes in cars and shit. They should not know that we have this capacity and this is what we're going to do, because then they're going to think of ways to defeat this or interrupt this or stand between this or whatever. In fact, weather balloons are such an issue that, 30 years ago, there was a weather balloon that was just drifting over everybody. And we tried and tried and tried and tried and tried to shoot it down, and we fucking couldn't. I think it ended up falling out of the sky, but it was going over Europe, and it was headed towards Russia, and it was all over the place, and everybody scrambled jets, and we couldn't get it down. And all that lets our enemies know is they'll put a weather balloon up. They can't even shoot it down. Now that we can shoot one down, it's kind of shitty to show this to other people.
Formation with the thing. Fifth, another weird thing I've heard is that all the pieces are identical. I've also heard a sixth thing. It split the missile. People are saying nothing could split a Hellfire missile. I don't know what this means.
Are you aware of anything in the United States government arsenal that can split a Hellfire missile?
I'm sorry. Hellfire. I don't know why I said Sidewinder. It's a Hellfire.
I feel a little like a dick here because it is so embarrassing to, one, take up Congress's time with this, and two, that this is a news story. And I know that it's a news story because I've seen it on every news outlet. I've seen people talking about it and talking about how weird it is. And it's just...
The Sidewinder is air to air. Okay? And we tried Sidewinders on balloons before. They're moving too fast. They don't do a whole lot. They don't destroy the balloon. This is a Hellfire. That was my mistake. Hellfire is air-to-surface missile. You understand that, right? A Hellfire is air-to-surface. It fires from the air to something on the grounds. And the fact that we are engaging air targets with it should definitely be classified.
just not weird. And we'd actually be helped out by our sponsor here, Ground News, and we can type out UAP Hellfire. The Hellfire is the kind of missile involved. And I can click on that and find, here's the House hearing shows video of Hellfire strike on orb as veterans detail UAP encounters. This is from 5 days ago, mostly covered by the center, not very covered by the left, very covered by the right. We've got a very high factuality Oregonian, was it a UFO? Video seems to show a US military strike on a glowing orb. And over here, we got a low factuality one, shocking video of US military drone firing a Hellfire missile at UFO only to watch it bounce harmlessly off over the coast of Yemen. There's a lot of bouncing going on in this story. A new released video of House UFO hearing appears to show a US missile striking and bouncing off orb.
Yes, it is an anti-armor missile. I got confused with Sidewinder.
Organizations have reported on the same story and what different information and perspectives they have to offer. You could do this work on your own. It would just be a huge amount of work to do it on your own. They got a ton of features. They got local news, and all of this operates, I am very appreciative of this, on a system that
Not to mention, if we're using them on some balloons, that means we'll probably be using them on drones. We may be using them on rotary wing stuff. I think it should have stayed classified. But right now, anybody's looking to leak fucking anything that takes attention away from the shit that they don't want attention on.
doesn't break the news media ecosystem. Like if I want to go to any one of these stories and actually read it, if I find a headline that I like and a take that I think is accurate, or a source that I know is credible, it's covered by a bunch of...
I like ground news.
What this thing is, kind of just by looking at it. First, you have to look at our number one claim here, that this thing is moving extraordinarily fast. One thing you'll notice is at the beginning of the video, this thing is simply moving in a straight line. It just goes in a straight line, and it looks like it's moving quite fast. Now, if the drone was stationary and the object was right above the ocean, then we would be able to tell with our eyes how fast this thing was going on. But that's not what's going on. The actual situation we have here is that this...
If it was right above the ocean, yeah, let's say it's moving at fucking 5,000 miles an hour. But if it's at 30,000 feet, it's not moving that fast.
Object is about halfway between the ocean and the drone, and that's about 3 miles up. We can tell this because actually in the video, there's some numbers on the bottom of the screen, and when the laser that is on the drone is guiding to that, it's saying this is how far away this thing is. It's about 3 miles away from the drone, and then when the object moves and the laser is instead pointing at the ocean, you can see that the rangefinder now says that the ocean is around 6 miles away. What happens in situations like this is the object is moving, but if you're just looking at the object and there's something far away behind you and you're zoomed in on that object, like imagine just like looking through a rifle scope or looking through like a zoom lens, when you move it, things zoom by really fast. And if you're tracking something that isn't as far away as the distance, that's gonna look like the distance is moving really fast while you're tracking that thing. And making this worse, if you're moving in the opposite direction, it will move even faster. You're adding to the appearance of speed by looking at the thing. Like just do this with your finger and see how fast the background moves, right? It's zooming by. And the more you move your body as you look at your finger, the more the background blurs and is going fast. So you can't really tell how fast.
That's another thing. The balloon's moving this way. We think the drone heading is this way. And the ocean is what, 15,000 feet below the backdrop is 15,000 feet below the object.
An object is just by looking at it, and that's mostly what people are doing here, especially because all of the data is not in here because this wasn't officially released. I knocked over a cup. Why wasn't it released? I don't know, because maybe the military thought that it should be secret that we're using Hellfire missiles to shoot things down in the air, which is not what they're designed for. Like nobody knew until this video came out that that was a thing that anyone was doing, and the military likes to keep secrets from its adversaries, and they now have...
Well, okay, we kind of knew. There are reports of Hellfires engaging drones and helicopters, a rotary wing and stuff like that, but we typically don't tell them, like, what scenario would we use it. Like, they've set up a scenario. Like, when we say that a Hellfire missile engaged a drone, that's one thing, right? And there's probably a reason that we used it specifically on this drone instead of something else we have in our arsenal. But when they just show a balloon, now our enemies think that, oh, they're using Hellfire missiles in these balloons. How can we counteract that? What can we do about that? Is there a way that we can block it, or there's targeting, or, you know, whatever?
Have one less, and I'm sure they don't love that. So anyway, you can't tell how fast this thing was moving just by looking at it. But when we zoom out, you can see that it looks like it's moving substantially less quickly, and that's because you're not zoomed in on doing the parallax thing where you're tracking it across a background that is far away. So is this thing moving super fast? We can't tell, but probably not. And you can also see that when the missile comes in, it's moving toward the object, but it's also tracking really fast across the ocean. Almost like that speed is an artifact of the drone speed rather.
So look how much, yeah. The missile should be moving fast along this line. Let's do this. When we see this missile coming in, I'll color it in for you in just a second. And then we'll go back and play the video so you can see it. All right, so this is our object that's targeted, okay? Let's do it in blue. This is our object. Oh my God, did it not? This is our object right here, okay? This is our missile. And of course, we fired it from that side, okay? We expect the missile to be moving extremely fast in the direction of travel. extremely fast. It's a fucking missile, right? But what we see in the video is it's also traveling the exact same speed in this direction, a direction that we didn't fire it, and that the balloon seems to be moving extremely fast. They're moving the exact same speed laterally across it in a direction that we didn't fire the fucking missile, literally at a right angle to the missile. That tells us that probably the stuff moving this way isn't moving that fast. And instead, the background is moving one direction, we're moving another direction, and it has the appearance that it's moving really fast. Anyways, back to the video. You can watch it. I'll back up.
Fast. We can't tell, but probably not. And you can also see that when the missile comes in, it's moving toward the object, but it's also tracking really fast across the ocean. Almost like that speed is an artifact of the drone's speed rather than the object's speed. So, in my opinion, it's pretty clear this thing isn't actually moving that fast. Right. Thing number 2, the missile didn't explode. So now we have to talk very briefly about how a Hellfire missile works, which is that it's designed to shoot things on the ground. Things that are designed to shoot things out of the air oftentimes explode because of proximity. Like they have a proximity sensor, or they have like a laser guidance sensor where they will actually go off when
What's that video where it says the Hellfire missile knows where it is because it knows where it isn't, or whatever.
They have reached the place that the laser says you have reached the place. That's not how a Hellfire works. A Hellfire missile has a crush sensor. That's how it goes off. When the nose gets crushed, that's when it explodes. And if this thing is, for example, something soft, something not particularly hard, something flimsy, that crushed sensor is simply not going to go off. And so it is not surprising that the Hellfire did not explode. It clearly did not explode. Now there's also this other thing here that it split the missile, but I don't see what this is. So the idea being pieces of the Hellfire like went off and joined the object. There's no way to tell that. It's either pieces of...
The missile knows where it is at all times. It knows this because it knows where it isn't. By subtracting where it is from where it isn't, or where it isn't from where it is, whichever is greater, it obtains a difference or deviation. The guidance subsystem uses deviations to generate corrective commands to drive the missile from a position where it is to a position where it isn't.
Of the object or pieces of the missile. And the missile continues to go by at a normal speed, so it seems like the missile is completely intact and now the object no longer is. There's some talk about how this object was completely unharmed, and I'm like, well, that doesn't seem like what happened at all. It seems to have been cut into several pieces, which if you look at the way a Hellfire can sometimes look, that makes sense, that it would be cut into some pieces. Now we have something I haven't seen anyone talk about, but that it bounces off the object. Is there bouncing going on here? Well, we can watch. There's this frame where the object is moving along, hasn't been hit by a missile yet. This frame where they are now in cahoots. They are in the same physical space in the world. And then this frame where it's flown off to the side. So if the Hellfire was giving a substantial amount of its kinetic energy to this object, it would fly off in the direction of the missile. So it would follow the missile. Like if a semi-truck hits a bicycle, that bicycle's going to go with the semi-truck. So we can definitely say for sure that not a lot of kinetic energy has been transferred from the missile into the object. Do you see where I'm going with this yet? So now we can talk about the pieces that are flying off of this thing. How did they stay in formation with the object? How do they continue moving in the same direction? Well, we already talked about how this object probably isn't going that fast. And we talked about how a Hellfire missile can blow right through it and not transfer almost any kinetic energy into it. So what are we talking about here? We're talking...
That's the only thing you could imagine it hitting. If you've ever seen a weather balloon, just the oil from your skin can make them rip open, right? It's just like the thinnest, you know, those cheap trash bags that you get and you fill them up and you go to pick them up and they rip and you like fucking read through it. It's like the thinnest plastic material you could imagine. So that's why it's not going to transfer any energy. It's just going to rip through it. The same way that if you punch through a piece of paper versus you punch a piece of paper hanging in the air, right? You punch it, it just kind of folds around, no energy is imparted. You may even punch through it. But if you toss a brick into the air or a tennis ball and punch it, it's going to go the direction that you're punching.
About a balloon. So this is off the coast of Yemen, and I don't know why the people of Yemen would be filling up balloons with helium and putting them into the air. I can think of a lot of different reasons. The US military probably has more ideas than I do. In fact, they may have known that this was a balloon, and they may have intentionally shot it down with a missile because they didn't have any better things around to do it with. They think that it's carrying some kind of communications technology. Maybe it's just like a ham radio rig, whatever.
An antenna.
Yeah. The Houthis are using it for something that we don't want, and so we're going to spend $150,000 shooting this thing down. Now, do the Houthis know that the US military was shooting down their balloons with Hellfire missiles? I don't know, but they do now. They do now. Now, it could also be that this is a weather balloon from somewhere else for some other purpose, and weather balloons can stay up in the air for a long time and they can get pushed into weird places accidentally. There are a lot of them in the air at any moment. And the thing is, the Go Fast video, which is another UAP video, was almost certainly also a balloon, and it looks exactly like this one. It is embarrassing to have this be a national news story when we know exactly what's going on.
What was Go Fast?
It's a classic case from 2015. It was popularized in 2017. It appears to be close to the surface of the water, and that's what the pilot saw. It looks like that object is just zipping along really quickly near the surface of the water. But after careful analysis of all the numbers on the heads-up display there and doing the geometry and looking at the track of the airplane as it was flying, we were able to assess that the object actually had to be at about 13,000 feet. With the parallax, we can assess that the object is moving actually at wind speed. So we don't know what that object...
It's at 13,000 feet, just like this one's at 15,000 feet. And even though it's called the Go Fast video because they're talking about how fast it is. And it's actually moving at normal wind speed. It's something floating. It's a balloon.
Object is, but we know that it's moving.
Called a bird.
It's consistent with a bird or a balloon.
If you've seen that, and then you watch this video, it's like, oh, that's how a balloon would behave if it was hit by a missile. Pieces of it would tear off. It would be blown back by the exhaust. But all those scraps of plastic, because this isn't like, don't imagine you blowing up a balloon. A weather balloon is like a big pile of plastic that is
there you go.
With a bunch of helium.
There's a picture of it.
Of Mylar or plastic. All those scraps of plastic, because this isn't like, don't imagine you blowing up a balloon. A weather balloon is like a big pile.
even just touching these, like I've seen a bunch of YouTubers launch these with like GoPros and shit on them or whatever. Even just touching these with your bare hands can, and once it gets at altitude, it'll just fucking fall apart just from the oil on your skin. Like they're extremely fragile, but they have to be. That way they can get so high with the helium they have inside of them.
Of plastic that is inflated with a bunch of helium. And so you have these scraps of mylar or plastic up in the atmosphere, and you can see them, and they continue to drift in the same direction they were originally drifting in, because the drone is going in the same direction, and that's part of what is making this object look like it's moving. And also it's floating in the wind, whatever the wind is. And the wind, the stuff blowing it around after the initial collision with the Hellfire, doesn't change. And it kept going.
It kept going, and it looks like the debris was taken with it.
Yeah, what the hell is that?
So again, I'm not going to
It's not it taking its debris with it. It's like if the wind's blowing and you take one leaf and throw it up, it blows in the wind. If you crumble that leaf up into 5 pieces and throw it up in the air, they all fucking go together in the wind.
what it is, but the question is, why are we being blocked from this information?
Like you can see it hit, and then start to tumble, like as if it is a big sheet of plastic in the sky. And that is why all these pieces fly in formation. Instead of blowing apart, as you might imagine they would if they got hit by a missile, they're all moving in the same direction because they were already moving in the same direction. And they're not flying in a formation. They are just still drifting together. Now this thing is no longer being held up by the helium inside of it, so it is drifting down toward the ground, but we can't see that with our eyes because we only get the top-down view. So it is going down, but it's still going in the same direction that it was before, and the drone is still going in the same direction that it was before. So it looks like it's going in the same direction that it was before. Because it is. Now last on my list of things, why are these pieces so identical? Why do they all look so similar after getting torn off of the thing? And look, I don't know how this camera system works. I know that it's infrared. I know that it's detecting heat, but
it's artifacts, right? You're not going to get the greatest detail on small pieces of things. In fact, it'll probably make, like if you have a piece this big and a piece this big and a piece this big and they're all cut in different jagged ways, they'll probably look very similar, whatever signature they're giving off.
I've seen other videos show that like the lens artifacts of these lenses can make things look like they're the same shape even when they're not. And that kind of makes sense. Like not only are these things exactly the same shape, they're exactly the same orientation, as if it is a camera effect rather than an actual picture of the thing in the real world. A lot of the analysis I see of these things, like imagine that every artifact is something that exists in the real world rather than something that's like, part of the imperfection of doing infrared video. The sort of zeitgeisty thing to do would be like, look at all the ways they're trying to distract us. And I think there's something to that, but not in the way people think. Like it isn't like, oh, the Epstein files must really be something if they're releasing UAP videos. No, they're not really trying to distract us in that way. What they're doing is trying to gain our attention. A really big part of the job of a politician is to try and do anything that will make you pay attention to them. And that's a pretty big part of the whole game. Getting attention, especially in a circumstance where people are like, this guy's on my side. It's us. It's me and my congressman against the government. So they are kind of trying to distract you from other things in that they are trying to make you pay attention to them. And UFOs are a good way. Like the left covers them, the right covers them, the center covers them. Everybody covers UFOs. Everybody wants to believe. Everybody wants the X-Files to be real. But in this case, and this wasn't the only thing in the hearing. It was just the only thing in the hearing that had any video evidence tied to it. But I kind of can't believe how embarrassing this is because it is so obvious to anyone who's ever paid any attention to this stuff what's going on. Watch it again. Hearing what I've said, this is a missile going through a high altitude balloon. That is what a missile would look like if it went through a high altitude balloon. Maybe I'm wrong about this. Maybe the missile went through a drone. One thing you know for sure is that all the things people said were weird, like especially the fact that the Hellfire didn't explode, is totally normal. Like if a Hellfire crashed into a drone, it wouldn't explode. Like it takes a lot to crush the end of a Hellfire because it's made to blow up cars and tanks and stuff. And because this was not released by the Pentagon, it didn't have any accompanying data. It didn't have any accompanying videos taken with visible light. You can barely see the data on the corners here. It's almost cropped out because this was filmed by someone's camera. And it's so transparent to me that they're just fishing for attention in a crowded attention landscape. And the best way to do it over and over again is for people who are public servants who are supposed to like be trying to make government work, are trying to score points by exploring any narrative they can where the government is the villain. And every time there's a video, it is explainable. But in this case, it isn't just explainable. It's like what you see with your eyes. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Do not get your news from Instagram Reels. Do not get your news from TikToks. Get your news from an actual news outlet. Do it from a credible outlet. And you can do that in any way you like. But also, this is the end of the video. So, unrelatedly, Ground News, thank you for sponsoring the video. You can get 40% off the Vantage plan at the link in the description or the QR code on screen.
I guess that's it. There's still no aliens. And release the Epstein list. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for being here. I'm Will Bard. This is Cold Beer Confessional. Support the stream at buymeacoffee.com/coldbeer. I'll be around. Still got a bunch of vehicles to work on. I own Mariah's car, the Jeep, the Ranger, the Armada, the van, the red car. I own 7 cars right now. I gotta do something about that. So thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for being here. I got some cars to get rid of. We'll see you on the next one. Have a good night. Love you. See you. Bye. What I want to do, I was hoping maybe I could get rid of all of them and maybe just buy a 4-door pickup truck, but we'll see. I need a pickup truck. If I don't do that, I'm going to keep the Ranger just because it's a pickup truck. And then I'll probably still have my Jeep that I like a lot, but we'll see.
But I can tell you this.
The Ranger kind of sucks because it's a regular cab, short bed, 2-wheel drive Ranger. And not everybody can fit in it. So it kind of sucks. Like if I got to pick up both the kids,
who they are,
they can't even fit. You know what I mean? Like me and 2 kids.
You don't have the balls.
Okay, Scott.
But it is technically a truck when I need a truck. I do want a key truck, but
get lit, get the place in the bets. You know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen.
I'd like something bigger. We'll see. I don't know.
I came equipped with a quick wit and a sick.
Separately, I want a key truck as well. That's another goal of mine.
Jesus. Praise the Lord, head to the extreme. All these false fucking prophets who profit off of gossip. Worshipping drums, cocking, begging for a throat deposit. Swinging fucking meat hammers like fool in a thong. He's strapped to the shaft, eating his chest like he's King Kong. Starving for attention, I'ma make your gut burst. I'll be your huckleberry, I can quench that thirst. Baby eating lizard people, alien sex. What's next? Trump in a dress, fucking Flynn on his desk. A retard in a vest, climbing up 5G towers. Cause you told him if he did, he'd get fucking superpowers. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss him off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set.
I would love to get back in a diesel pickup truck, but they're just so fucking expensive. And I don't really want a loan right now.
It's about to get lit.
So much uncertainty with my job and the stream and shit.
Better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. I used to find clues too when I was high on shrooms. I found myself a tunnel that led to.
I shouldn't have got rid of my Duramax, but I did, so.
Found some of his meat rockets. I strapped them to my shoes and then I flew through the roof. I found myself in orbit strapped to an F-16. High on amphetamine with Trump in between. Put on a light coat of baby oil and saluted the troops. He tapped me on the shoulder and said, this is gonna be it.
Good night, guys.
Wait, stop. What? I'll get my files.